girls, ladies and gents, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it on May the 5th. No way. June the 5th. Holy smoke, the months are passing. It was June the 5th, 2023. Thank you very much wherever you're joining me from. If you're tuning in from Canada, shout out to you. If you're tuning in from the United States, Mexico, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Antarctic, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Sweden, Sudan, Haiti, Taiwan, Hong Kong, the Congo, wherever's, dude, you know what I mean? Kazakhstan, all the stands, really, wherever you're tuning from. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me from some time, it's been a hell of a ride thus far, and we're just getting started. We're just rolling now, baby. We're just rolling now. We're having fun. It's Monday. I'm feeling good. I hope whatever you've been up to in this past weekend, I hope you had fun. I hope you're safe and sound. I hope your bellies are full of love and food and doo-doo as well. Because if you're eating all that food and ingesting all the love, but you're not exerting anything, and then you're facing constipation, and I wouldn't want that for anybody, because that sucks. But what I'm trying to say is that we're gonna have some fun today. It is Monday, man, oh man, and a lot of stuff is on the old noggin. We're gonna get spitballing here. We're gonna get wet. We're gonna get slippery. We're gonna be slipping and sliding. We're gonna be having fun, cause what? It's Monday. It's the last month that we're here in Toronto, in Canada. Man, oh man, and I'm about that change, baby. I'm about that. You know, you gotta do certain things when you're going to places. Gotta do, when you arrive at a new place, you gotta do certain, when you leave a place, you gotta do a certain thing. And part of leaving a place for your boys, been canceling shit, doggy. Canceling shit. I've been canceling shit like I've just been waiting for this. I've been waiting for a moment like this. Sounds way better when you say, I've been waiting for a girl like you. Like this. You know what it is, but I was waiting, dude, because that's what you have. Contracts, you have obligations, and then I'm talking cell phones, I'm talking home internet, I'm talking electricity. I've been waiting to cancel shit, dog, because I signed up a while ago, but it's been well overdue. Because that's what, sometimes you got to cancel new shit so you get new stuff, or what, experience new stuff. They say a cup that is full with cancellations has no more room for newer cancellations, and sometimes you got to empty out the cup of cancellations so you can go out. And I did that, made phone calls, made I got reference numbers and shit. The best one was the home internet, because here in Canada, here in Toronto, my provider is does it matter if I say the name of the provider? I don't know. Let's say it rhymes with Dido. Whatever is, dude. You know, could be whoever, whatever. But I was about to cancel the old home internet. I'm online. I'm like doing a little bit of research. I'm like, how do I cancel my home internet? And they're like, before you cancel, give us a call. And also, is there anything we can do to keep you away from canceling? Is there anything? That's what it said. Is there anything we can do to stop you from canceling? Something along those. Is there anything we can do to stop this cancellation? I'm like, well, when you put it that way, is there anything? Is there anything you could do to avoid your boy going out and canceling? There's a ton of stuff that I could think of. I mean, for being completely honest, if any company out there wants to, offer you stuff, but they don't mention what it is, there anything we can do to hold on to your business? Is there anything we can do to stop you from canceling? There's plenty of things. Free head for life. I'd probably stop canceling. Couple of large bags filled with money, loose dollar bills. Something you could do. Show up and co-sign when I'm about to purchase my new property sometime down the line. Like whenever I need you, Is there anything you can do? So these are the things that I could think of. So because it was vague. It said, is there anything we could do? And I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, nobody's ever really asked. Is there anything that they could do to stop me from cancer? And that's what it is. So I gave him a call. Those were not on the table, those options. It's more, you know, telecom related services that they'll be able to maybe assist you with. And even then it wasn't anything that I'm like, okay, this is going to change my mind. But that's what it is, baby. I dropped a phone call. I got an email confirmation. Cancellations in process. That's what I dropped a C, baby. I'm like, cancel it, dog. I don't need this no more. I don't need y'alls no more. I don't need this home internet no more, baby. Cause I'm about to go out there, hit the road, Jack. I'm about to go out there and be a little road traveler, a little road dog, a little time traveler, a little you know, just traveling in general, a little backpacker, a little sightseer, a little voyager, a little, you know, it's been done before that people have traveled all over the world. So I can't say like pioneer. It would have been nice to be like, oh, we're traveling with like pioneering intentions, but it's been, you know, it's been done. So nothing new in terms of like, I'm not discovering new lands. Oh, you never know. You know, you never know, dude. You never know. I might just discover new lands. If, you know, leave me to my own accord, I might just discover some new lands. You never know. I'll just be like, oh, what is this? New lands. But that's what it is, man. So I've done canceled a bunch of stuff, which feels nice. Phone, cell phone is the only one that I've maintained for the meantime, because when I need something to, you know, via the internet, get there, and we're gonna figure it out once we get there. But then, yeah, I've upgraded initially I tried to cancel the old cell phone plan, but I actually ended up upgrading my plan several times. Now I'm paying $15 more for more data, because that's what I need when I'm on the roads, baby, data. And that's what it is. And they got me there. No cancellation on the old stuff, but everything else, I'm talking hydro, I'm talking home internet, I'm talking, you know, we got a highway here that's a toll fee that charges you every time you go on it. 407, why? I don't know, it's there. We paid for it already, I think. Pretty sure we paid for it. But the 407, if you're from anywhere in the GT or familiar with the 407, you get there's a little transponder they give you, you stick it in your car, beep, 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 boop, boop. Every time you go on, it turns on and off, and when you exit, and then you get a monthly bill. It's relatively cheaper than just going through the highway without the transponder. So I've opted for the old tram, but I'm like, I'm canceling it. I don't need this. I don't need this. And I rarely even ever use it, but it's one of those like highways here, like, you know, and to each their own. Some people use it quite often. It's their thing. They like paying tolls on a regular. They're that toll daddy or toll mommy. They like paying the fees. Your boy, nah, fee free, baby, fee free. That's what I'm saying, dudes. But I'm canceling everything, dude. It's over. It's donezo gunzo, and I'm about to hit the road. I'm excited about that. A lot of exciting events are occurring. Let's go through a whole bunch of stuff today. It's going to be a loose episode as per usual. It's going to be a nice and slow burn. If you're out there having a difficult time, perhaps whoever you may be, if you're falling these days, if you're falling, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. If you've been falling frequently these days, I was thinking, I'm like, how do we remedy this? How do we remedy this? How do we come up with a solution? And I went out there and I did a ton of research. I spent a ton of money. I spent a ton of resources. I reached out to the brightest of the minds out there. These minds were so bright, I was like, oh God, put a cloth over it or put a bag over it. These minds are too bright. Jesus Christ, I'm blinding already out. But they were bright minds, and we came up with solution to you falling and tripping. If you're out there falling and tripping, you're like, my legs are whatever, dude. The message getting sent from the old brain, the old noggin, was something's not connecting to the spinal cord, to my tailbone, to my Achilles heel. Something's happening, and therefore I'm like, let's bring in people with better, bigger legs. So if you're out there and you've been like squatting for your, you know, good portion of your adult life, and you're like, how do I put these thickies to use? There are people out there that are legit, you know, they're not able to. So we get whoever's, I don't even know, what are we even talking about? Whoever's falling these days. Like if you are a chronic tripper or faller, if you are working with some sort of like, you know, if you've got anti-gravity where you're like, oh, I see floors, I just get close. you know, if you're the type that likes to find things really on the surface level, that is, if you're the type that likes to be grounded, but you're like, sometimes it's out of my hand and I like to have a little bit more control. We hire these beautiful gentlemen and ladies with the thick legs, and you get on top and you go to your, you know, you do your regular, we're normalizing this shit, normal, just completely, you get on top of a giant person who's just like fucking jacked with all the legs. And then you go out, whether you're giving a speech, whether you're, you know, attending meetings, whether you're, you know, you're a chef, but, you know, everything's good, but you've been known to just trip in the old kitchen every now and then, or whatever. You are a, you know, you're a skateboarder, but, you know, one of your legs is no longer throwing them kickbacks as frequently as you like. You're like, how do I remedy to get on top of a giant dude or lady? They're your legs now, and that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. How do we do it? Again, a lot of determination and bringing bright minds together and spending a ton of dough. If you like these services, because it's available out there, call 1-888-888-897-521. What? That's the number you could call for these services. Make sure you write that down now. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, but I mean, so many things are happening these days. That's just a little, you know, falling's good too. Falling, you could, like, if you're tired of walking, you're like, I don't need a nap. Falling's great. You could just get on the ground and nap. Falling is essentially the precursor to napping. Low key. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but it should be, you know, reviewed, re-examined, reconsidered. What are we even talking about, boys and girls, ladies and gents? Today's gonna be, because I've been thinking about a lot, as per usual, but sometimes, you know, it's just like, oh man, where is it even gonna go? I don't even do it. It could go literally anywhere. It could go anywhere, ladies and gents. We could, you know, we could start off with, speaking of Haiti, speaking of a little bit of global events, Haiti and Haiti, little Haiti, and no, not in Haiti. Haitians in Haiti are, from the news, I read a news article and I saw a little video, which was, man, cray. Haiti's having some, like, you know, they're having some, it's, I don't know what, some conflicts, and the police, I don't know what it is, but the police, I don't know, like, I don't know too much about Haiti, but the police, the security forces, they're unable to, I guess there's some sort of, you know, upheaval, some sort of social discontent. People are going out there, you know, doing things, and the police aren't able to stop them. So, like, you know, I guess a militia, you could call them. A militia had formed, and these guys are going out there to hand out machetes, and it's Machete City, dude. It's cray. But then what do? You see that and you're like, man, that's geez Louise, you know what I mean? So I don't even know how we got there, but that's happening in, you know, global events. And in case you're wondering, you're like, man, give me some news from Haiti or Haiti, from Haiti. And I hope everybody can resolve issues without having to go, you know, fucking sword fight. But sometimes that's what it is when it calls down, when all else fails. Sometimes that's what people do, I guess, which is, you know, fuck, dude, if you get involved in some sort of, like, because machete fighting is, you know, it's no yoke, it's no laughing scatter, it's no, you know, it's just, it's because, like, you know, a little mishap, a little, it's great because you could go easily, you can, you know, you miss and you, boom, there goes an earlobe, oh, there goes the tippy nose, oh, there goes your, you know, oh, I just give you a couple of scratches on the old face that you didn't expect, but there it is. Oh man, there goes your arm, there goes my arm. You know what, machetes are sharp, man, you gotta be careful. Sword fighting in general. I'm not a fan. Again, sanctioned, licensed, registered, whatever is doing, however it goes in terms of, like, sport-wise, let's do it. You want to do fencing? Let's get dressed up in all white. I'll fence you up right here, son. I fenced it with the best of them and the worst of them. Not really. I've looked at a couple of outdoor fences. I've never actually, you know, dabbled in the art of the old fencing. But you know, I'm a fan of all sports. Is all I'm trying to say, and that's just Hades going through that, dude. So you know, if you're down there, be careful. But also, you know, you're like between the. Is there anything I can do in between the machete fighting and the opposition? Is there anything I can do to like ease my mind, relax a little bit, just like bring things down a couple of notches, but like also up at the same time? Check out patreon.com/RobSadri, or you know, Glad You Made It on YouTube or on Instagram, which is, you know, it's hey, sometimes you might just need a break from whatever's because that's what it is, babe. We're just, you know, that's sometimes you might need a break from whatever it is that you're doing, and you know, things happen all around the world, man. Things happen all around the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is incredible to read things. It's incredible to see things. One of the privileges of living in this time, we get so much cool info, whatever you're into, cool knowledge. You learn more, you grow more. You know what to avoid, you know what to go near. One of the things you want to be avoiding these days is probably a little bit of that, sargassum. A little bit of that sargassum, baby. Watch out for that killer sargassum. Sargassum. I'm not talking about irony here. I'm talking about seaweed. I'm talking about algae. Sargassum. Deadly floating algae, man. That's on the prowl. That's lurking on the top of the water. Like some sort of top of the water lurker. Crazy. 5 miles long. I don't know how wide it is, but it's 5 miles long. It's this floating piece of algae. And it's got flesh-eating bacteria, and it smells like rotten eggs, they say. Which is, you know, it's a new thing. I haven't seen the results of it. I've heard of it. I haven't actually seen the bacteria-eating algae or bacteria-carrying algae that's gonna land on you and eat your flesh, but that's apparently a thing, and it's like roaming around Florida somewhere down, and you know, and that's what it is. The pros and cons of this bad boy, you know. What are the pros and cons of this bad boy? Sargassum, the old sargassum, sargasmic. Let's say you have beef with someone. I hope you don't, but let's say you do. What do? You invite them out to some sort of barbecue event, some sort of brunch, right by the water, down in Florida. Okay, you bring him or her close, and you're like, man, we should, although our companies have been beefing, we should touch and join and consolidate and build one giant company, and together we could be like a platonic, non-sexual partnership of the financials, you know? Let my money touch your money and let our monies grow together. Does that make you hot? And then you both are like turned on because you're driven by that shit, and all of a sudden you have money boners, which is pretty tight, dude, not gonna lie to you. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, let's eat these chicken wings. Let's pop a couple of these cold ones out of the old ice bucket. Let's just pop them out and just pop. Let me pop the top of this beer bottle with my asshole. That's for you, sir. The nice thing would be to reciprocate and have him or her open up the other bottle of beer with his or her asshole. And that's for you. And then you cheers. And then you go, you drink as you lock eyes, celebrating this new partnership. And then you're like, let's take a dip in the water. Let's take a dip in the water, Klaus. Let's take a dip in the water. And then you're like, yeah, the temperature's nice. The seagulls are nowhere in sight. Let's, we've already had some food. We've already had some drinks. And the safest thing to do is now get into the water. And then you start, you know, and then you got a little backpack perhaps. And then you take the backpack, your little duffel bag or whatever. You came prepared. You start putting on a wetsuit. And guess what? Oh, what a coincidence. What a crazy. Oh, did you want a wetsuit too, Klaus? I only brought my wetsuit because I thought, you know, I know it's crazy, but you know, just I don't have an extra one. Well, you don't even need one. And he's like, why you wearing a wetsuit? And he's like, yeah, I'm just, you know, a little bit of the old sensitive skin, a little bit of the old, just, I like to glide a little bit better. I have hairy forearms. I've got hair on my shins. I like to, when I'm in the water, I like to be aerodynamic. Klaus, could you respect that, please, Klaus? Jesus, it's the interrogation. And he's like, okay, cool. So he puts on his tiny little red Speedo, and the next thing you know, you guys are out in the middle of the ocean, or the sea, or the lake, wherever the Sargassum may be. And you're just swimming, splish, splash, sploosh, all the fun. All the fun. Next thing you know, what's on top of the water? Not a great white, not an octopus, not a friggin' seahorse, not a bunch of scary seahorses. Sure, one is easily controllable, but get a bunch of them together, that's crazy. Careful out there. But that's what it is, baby. Now you see the floating algae, and then you're like, oh, and then you start, what do? You're like, oh man, I've heard this algae is great for your, you know, for your skin. I wish I wasn't wearing this wetsuit. I'd go all in that stuff and get all the benefits. I hear it's in Goop right now. Goop is writing all about the algae used to rejuvenate skin and have you looking like a unborn child. Non-existent, no wrinkles, baby. That's the way we like them out here, but that's what it is. Once you go ahead, Klaus, once you get a little bit of that seaweed all over yourself, get all the nutrients and benefits of Mother Nature. So Klaus is like, don't you wish you weren't wearing a wetsuit right now? So he goes in now, he's just like, rubbing all the seaweed. Kind of like, you know, you guys are partners, financially speaking, but there's still that, you know, unspoken competitive nature between the two of you, and he's out there just rubbing seaweed. Oh, the seaweed all over me. Ooh, look at Klaus with all the seaweed. Don't you wish you had some of the seaweed? You know, so he's Seaweed City, baby. And then you're like looking at the clock. There's a clock in the middle of the ocean. That's right, I said it. And then you're like, man, we should swim back, wrap it up. We had a great conversation. This meeting went well. We're gonna, you know, I'm gonna go home, do my thing. I'll see you back at the offices, you know? Next thing you know, what happens 6 months down the line? Klaus is shivering. Klaus is shaking. Bacteria is eating at his flesh. What is going on? Who can explain this insanity? Nobody can. Where'd it come from? How did it? Because we've had algae all along, son. Who put the bacteria, the flesh-eating bacteria in the algae in the first place, fam? But those are other questions. No one's asking what's happening to Klaus. Oh my God, next thing you know, you take over the entire company. So boom, that's just like a quick little snippet of how you could turn deadly flesh-eating bacteria and seaweed into a, you know, profitable circumstance for yourself out there. Whatevers. You know, I'm just saying, but that's crazy, man. That this algae, this Sargassum is just out there floating about all willy-nilly. You know, if you don't know, that's the thing too. It could have a negative effect. If you don't know and you're out there, you're swimming with your lover, you're like, oh baby, this is so. Let's get in the water. Let's just swim together. Let's get, you know, let's go a little bit further. Take off our clothing items, our bathing suits, and bone in the water. And she's like, let's bone here, but let's go back and bone properly at home, because like water boning, as fun as it does sound, not as fun. It sounds and looks fun. It's fun, but it's nothing really beats a nice, comfortable bed. We all know that. She'll say that in the middle of the water, backstroking. And you're like, cool beans, babies. Let's do it. So, you know, you guys are swimming out there, and then you're boning in the water, splish, splash, ploosh once again, and then guess what happens? Guess what happens? Oh, we're running low on the batteries here. Give me a second before we lose all sensations. What is happening with this technical difficulties? Bear with me a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Shit happens, because this is a one-man operation right here. Okay, sir? Okay, ma'am? We're gonna just go ahead and do this. Lower the old background light of the old. Okay, should be all right. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Where were we? You're now splish, splash, sploosh, baby. She's like, yeah, let's go back and fuck, but we'll fuck in the water too. And the next thing you know, you see a whole bunch of algae, see a whole bunch of Sargassum, and it's just like, flown on by, and you just came inside her. She wanted you to, and you're both having a lot of fun, and you're just like, oh, this is so fun, and we're just so silly, and we're just having a lot of fun. You take a little bit of the Sargassum, put it over your lip. You're like, oh, look, baby, look at my mustache. Nah. And then she takes a little bit of the Sargassum, puts it over her face like a little walrus. She's just like, oh, look at mine. Just tits floating on the water. You're deep in the water, no one can see. It's fine. Deep in the middle of the ocean, tits fucking wobbling around. She's got Sargassum. Look at my Sargassum mustache. Next thing you know, 6 months later, son, parents come in and check on you because you haven't been returning phone calls for some time. It's been a couple of weeks. Knock, knock. No one's answering the door. Oh my God, your old dad's gonna have to use his dislocated and, adjustable half bionic shoulder to pop the door open. They get in there and all they'll find is bones, remains of bones. And you're gonna have to call the CSI investigation crime scene people to do crime scene investigations. And this could have all been avoided if you were to just take a little bit of precautionary measures and not get near that Sargassum. How do you distinguish between Sargassum, algae, seaweed, and between the normal type and the flesh-eating bacteria kind? It's life is, they say life is a game of dice. They say life is a game of high stakes poker, blackjack, cups, dominoes. Really any game you can gamble on. Life is essentially it's risky out there. So next time you're like, let's go splish sploosh, think twice. But then again, depending on the circumstance, you see, it's I don't know what to make of it, but it's the Sargassum is deadly, is what they say. Careful out there. Ladies and gents, I've been reading that in the UK they're taking a bunch of people, a group of people, and they're implementing a universal basic income for, I believe, a year or two, and they're going to give them a decent amount, so that, because they want to be doing, there's conversations to be had, there's thoughts to be thought of, there's discussions to be discussed. So people are going to be, there's going to be groups, there's going to be a group where they're going to give them UBI, there's going to be a group where they deprive them of all the monies, and in a year or two they're going to come back, because there's talks, and I don't know what to think of all this. I really don't. I just try to, given the high cost of living everywhere, I do see something's got to give, just because it doesn't make sense. Housing everywhere is just bonkers. Wages are meh, So overall, everything's getting automated. We are heading into, we're transitioning we're transitioning our economy. We're transitioning our mode of work and what it means to work, and what even work is, or developing new work occupations. But even then, as we keep on, these are thoughts that we should be having right now, because if it's not something that we're going to have to face today, it will definitely be something that we'll have to consider, or perhaps, we'll see. But this is essentially what, I don't even know if it's good or bad, but I'm just saying something in the overall structure system, because we've seen it's just like, it just really, benefits a very small portion of the population, where the rest of the folks are. So I don't know too much about anything. All I'm saying is that the UK is doing it, and yeah, man, in a couple of years there's going to be a case study. I guess there have already been case studies. A lot of people do tend to use resources to benefit themselves and their families, better their lives. Are there downsides to everything? Yes. Could you, and we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll come together, we'll figure it out. But simultaneously, as I'm reading this UBI experiment being run in the UK, I read another article that this young lady, I believe she's a Chinese lady, 26-year-old, who is renting herself out to just chill with you, essentially, for, if I'm not mistaken, and I read this and I try to double check it just for facts schmacks, but for 14 cents an hour US, which is, I don't know how much that is in like the Chinese currency, but I don't see that as being much. Regardless, I'm not too concerned about the money. That's something that she could probably adjust for herself if she likes. But it does bring up a cool conversation, a neat little conversation. And this isn't the first time I've seen a instance like this. There was another fellow, there was a Japanese fellow who did a very similar thing a few years back, where he essentially rented himself out as his services were really nothing, which I admired deeply. That is I forget his beautiful name, but a hero of mine, sort of, kind of. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those, like, it's a cool little neat concept. Think about it. The world is changing, economy's changing, gigs are changing, jobs are changing. And you know, it's good to create new jobs. I'm not saying this is the thing for everybody, but how do you guys feel about renting yourself out to somebody for an hour or two, or half a day, or whatever, at whatever rate you want to charge? And what do you do? What do these guys and gals do out there that are doing it? Apparently there may be apps. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how it all works, but essentially you show up, and if somebody wants to do whatever throughout their day, you just tag along like a strange friend, like a stranger friend, like a strange friend, stranger, stranger friend, stranger. We're still working on it, but it is an interesting topic to think about, the concept of showing up and be like, hey man, you want to go have a little bit of ramen? Let's go have a little bit of ramen. You want to go try some sushi? Let's go eat some sushi. You want to get into a little photo booth and like squeeze our little heads together real tight like we're besties, even though we're not, for this particular day, for this particular moment. These two souls, these two entities are going to meet and be friends. And what brought them together? Monetary exchanges. No, wait, something brought them together. I don't know what brought them together, but it is a neat little topic. Like, it's a neat little, it's like you just show up. If somebody wants to, like, I wanna hang a couple of paintings today. I wish somebody could hold a couple of nails while I hammer in the nails, and I just want to do it, man, and I'll pay you X amount. You just come chill with your boy or that lady or whoever you want to, like, come chill with this, you know, half nanobot out here just fucking, like, you know, doing it. But that's the thing, you could do that. You know, you got a grandma who wants to go shopping. Perhaps she'd like somebody to just walk with her, help her carry her grocery store. You got a elderly man with an amputated leg who'd like somebody to hang out with them, just so he could feel like, you know what, there's enough legs in this vicinity. You know what I mean? Whatever, dude, whatever you're into. But the concept of it is neat. It's borderline, it's adjacent to prostitution, not gonna lie to you. Am I a fan of it? Yes. Essentially, we are always constantly renting each other anyway. We're renting each other for our services and the goods that we provide. So is it any different to rent yourself out for the sake of, hey man? And we are always hearing these topics that are all kind of interconnected to, as we're heading into a more individualistic world. I don't know if there's always a balance to things, but it seems like, you know, we're very much like, do your own thing, but also like work in a team and everything. It's a nice little, it's cool to see that. So it's nice to see individuals going out there and be like, hey, I will show up. You wanna be gaming? I'll sit with you and we'll game together. You wanna whatever. It's essentially friend for hire, but it's different than a friend. I actually like it because you can have regular friends. Friends are cool. Family friends are cool. Those are cool, really. But this is actually, I love this because the concept of the stranger is unappreciated, really. Concept of the stranger is unappreciated, and it just like, it shines a little light on the stranger, because a stranger is it's different. It's not better than a friend. It's not better than family, but it's different because the stranger will open up a whole new realm of possibilities. Let's examine these possibilities together after this sip. Hell yeah. Thank you for joining me. We are talking about the pros and cons of stranger friendships, strange friendships, stranger friends, strange friends, strangers, frangers, man, frangers, the stranger friend. It is underappreciated. Why? Because meeting a stranger, sure, it can have its pros and cons. Let's go through them together the pros of, first of all, in a new age of the economy changing, us needing to implement new jobs, come up with new creative ways of making, it's a great way to explore new things. It's just good to get out there and be like, hey, what are you doing today? I'm going to join you. And you need somebody to join you? Great, pay me a bit of monies and I'll join you. You want to go archery? You need somebody to stand there with an apple on top of their head. I'll be that person under the apple, or vice versa. Who knows? This is my first time trying archery. What could go wrong? Who knows? All the possibilities are on the table. It gives people to, hey, maybe you're legit, like maybe you know, for whatever reason, maybe you don't have too many friends, maybe you don't have you know, access to this, that, or it'd be nice to be like, let me go on a whatever and like be like, yes, yo, strand, I like this strand right here, stranger friend. I like this stranger. I don't know which one sounds better. Write it down. If you like stranger friend, strand or franger, strand or franger. Write it if you like. Leave a comment. Strand or franger. But that's what it is, man. It brings people together, and we are. Yeah, that's what you do. The pro of this is just another way of like implementing a new line of work into the ecosystem. Because yeah, you could go, if you want a lawyer, you go and rent a lawyer for a few hours. You need a doctor's services, you're essentially paying them, you're renting them for a few hours, a day or two, whatever they need me. You want an architect, you rent them for a period of time, they design you a building or whatever, boom, you got an architect. You want a haircut, you rent a hairdresser for a few hours. You want dental work, you go ahead and you know, go ahead and rent a dental artist, dentist. You want a Swedish back rub, you go and find somebody who's not necessarily Swedish but well versed in the Swedish back rub massage techniques, preferably Swedish, with the Swedish meatballs, if you know what I mean. Heavy on the meatballs. You rent them, and that's what it is, baby. So we do rent things, and yeah, that's the beauty of it. You get to go out there and experience new things with a new strand. The beauty again of the stranger, because you do things with your friends, your family members, your loved ones, but the stranger actually allows you to come in there for one brief moment and have a very unique experience. And people actually do tend to open up to strangers way more sometimes than they do to their friends or even loved ones, because the beauty of the stranger, believe it or not, is you don't see them ever again. If you choose to, at least. And in this day and age, it is a little bit more difficult to manage that with all the tech and, like, you know, cameras, just the sheer fact of the internet existing out there and almost everybody having some sort of presence online. So, but still, you could definitely do it where you just meet once and like legit never meet again. That could still work. But man, the stranger of the 80s, holy shit, dude. 70s, 80s strangers, God. Didn't experience it, but what a thrill to meet somebody and really never see them again if you wanted to. That would have been, that is pretty dope. And you know, you could still manage, but again, we do live in, you know, take that with a grain of salt or whatever, a pinch of pepper, a little bit of bath salt, or a little bit of, if you're gonna use bath salts, use it for bathing. I don't fucking know bath salts, dude. I'm just saying, careful out there. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that yeah, the stranger, you get it, because that's what it is. Sometimes you're like, man, you can't complain about certain, you know, you can't, like, there's certain things you might not want to be able to, like, you might not be able to say to your lover, your partner, your husband, your wife, your kids. Your kids, like, are great, you love them, but you can't be like, whatever. But you meet a stranger, all of a sudden you're like, man, I love my kids, but that kid, like, little Johnny could be a brat sometimes, and it just feels good. That's why we go and see a therapist. That's why you do. That's the only instance that I could think of, and that's what it is. That's the stranger that's getting paid to essentially sit and be looking at you kind of sort of objectively and give a little bit of feedback, maybe. But that's what it is. You don't even need to open up that. And that's just one example. You could just legit go out there and be silent. You don't need to go spill all your beans to a total stranger, but you could be silent together, and that'd be a weird little random experiment in and of itself. Oh, met a stranger. We were silent the entire time for 7 hours straight. Weird, but also cool. You know what I mean? So You got something on your chest that you want to like just whatever. You want to gossip about your boss, but you don't want anybody. Turn off your chuck your phone out the car, out that you're taking a cab. Chuck your phone out the cab window. Meet the stranger. Yappity yap 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 about your boss, dude. Just fucking be like, oh, this guy or this lady, whatever. And like nobody will have a chance of ever knowing you unless he goes online and like, yeah, the onlineness really. But you know what I mean? There's still that portion of the stranger that's very, you know, it's gonna be tricky. All I'm saying is be careful out there what you do share with the strangers and what you don't share with them. But all I'm saying is it's a cool little concept, because that's what it was, and especially back in the day. A stranger used to travel to a town, and people would be like, oh, and you'd have a unique stranger interaction, and then he'd leave after a while too, and everybody sort of vibed, because it's like, man, it was, because it feels like the stranger is really a cool, it's because like you are with and without, and people have this tendency to, you can connect with people, get close to people, but also people feel the privilege of like, hey man, my information's like, I'm never gonna see this person again. Like I could tell you anything and I'm never gonna see you again. It doesn't even matter. I could make up I hate cotton candy. I just like vent about hating cotton candy, and you've never vented about hating cotton candy or loving cotton candy, whatever. You're like, I'm super into cotton candy and nobody's ever known. Please don't tell anybody. God, if anybody found out I'm heavily into cotton candy. While you take massive loads of cotton candy and stuff it down your face. And you can't do that anymore because you have low-key a little bit of diabetes, but your wife wants you to live long, so she's like, no cotton candy, Jim. Stranger. So those are the benefits, man. Those are the benefits. And you could do whatever you want. People do it differently. I don't even know if it's like I'm just saying it's a neat idea. Could it go horribly wrong? Of course. Of course it could go horribly wrong. Let us examine the ways in which it could go horribly wrong. For one, you are meeting a stranger. You're two strangers meeting, but it's no different than sort of kind of like the dating world, really. You're meeting a stranger at the end of the day. Anything goes. Anything can happen. The point is, you could end up and like they could smell horrible. They could reek of rotten cheese or whatever, dude. You don't know. They could have a rash. They could have a rash that's oozing and pussing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, you're pussing all over the place. This was not in the photo. You could get catfished. Your stranger could catfish you. They show up and you're like, you don't look like the photo. And although this is technically supposed to be it's a platonic, it's a non-sexual meeting of two minds, souls. It's deeper than that. Surface level, because there's no touching, but deeper than that. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, you could meet a stranger and it could be like, they could be, it could go horribly wrong. It could go horribly wrong. They could, in many ways. First of all, they could be a great person. All right, and you've been just like, oh man, you might fall in love with them. You might fall in love with them, dude. Lady, you might meet a stranger. You're like, man, I'm just gonna go take a couple of photos, fly a kite, do some light crack in a back alley while this guy's holding a pipe for me. Thank you, stranger. But then you end up falling in love, and you hand him the money. And then all of a sudden it hits you deep down inside. You're like, oh my God, the person who I just met for the first time, who swept me off my feet in an afternoon. I feel so much love and connection with this person, and I'm giving them money. Like, oh, conflicting thoughts could, and that's the thing. To them, it's just cold, hard cash. Another dollar, another day, or another dollar, another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar. Another day, another dime. Zeros and ones. And but we had such a great time, and he's like, or she's like, it's all business, baby. It's all, how daddy likes to mingle. Platonic mingling, baby. You know, you just put the whole suitcase of cash on the table and it feels a little bit, you're like, but we could have, and then that's the thing. And then you walk away, cash in hand, and your heart is just like, but we had such a great connection. Stranger, careful out there. You might like them too much, they might not want to reciprocate. Because that's their business. You can't be like, that's their thing. That's their friend for hire. Don't be falling in love with strangers. Or do, I don't know. Or do, whatever, dude. And that's kind of like a positive spin on it going kind of wrong. The other way of it going horribly wrong, you're meeting a stranger, dude. At the end of the day, lady, meeting a stranger. They could be legit just like, they could be, I don't know, man. People are doing all sorts of, you know, freaky deaky shit out there. So you could be, you know, it could be friggin' whoever. And they could be into, you know, they could be an axe murderer. They could be a serial killer. It's constantly just eating bowls and bowls of cereal. They could be homicide savant. They could be a rapist. They could be anything. So again, very similar. It's just like, you know, but that's the thing. I like to present all sides, as many sides as possible, so that, because we're not on any other sides, baby. We're just going through life. You and I are just going through life, and things are, oh, what is this? It's that thing. And we're like, how do I make a decision? Well, we talk about it, we think about it, and then we do it, and then we come back and be like, yes or no. You see what I'm saying? So it's cool to see that that's happening right now, I think. Again, it's like new ways of, it's either going to be UBI, or I said this is like, you know, it's the UBI or selling ourselves in different formats again. And some people just like cut through all the fat and just go fucking asshole first and be like, right there, you know, $5 a shot, whatever, dude. So all I'm saying is like, let's legalize more things, you know, and let's just have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's basically what life is all about. Having a good old time, having a grand time. What else is going on? Boys and girls, ladies and gents, it's Monday, that's right. Holy smokes, dude. What did we talk about? We did talk about the old the young old Chinese lady, 26-year-old, essentially selling her services to chill. Talked about the old machetes going on wild in Haiti. Talked about the benefits of falling and how to remedy it. What else is going on? I did hear, I've not really followed this too closely or anything, but it did. This is not a fun piece of information. This is not like I'm a little bit just like, you know, like many of you guys and gals, Danny Masterson has been charged with, you know, rape, which, man, that sucks for the victims and him. Definitely the victims more than him, but like that one's yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know anything about anything. It's just, yeah, I know I've read a little bit about the situation. I believe he was part of the Scientology church, and just seems a little, it's because he's a younger person. He's not like he's not like a Weinstein character where you're like, well, okay, you could see kind of why, sort of. I guess it would make sense. But yeah, a younger person who has, you know, he's not a bad-looking fella. You could say he's a handsome fella. He was even probably, you know, I'm just saying, like, trying to look at it objectively. He's been working, so he's got monies. You know, he's not like, you know, he's all right. He's doing all right for himself. You know, I'm just trying to like look at the thing objectively. I'm just like, I couldn't, you know, and I'm like thinking, because I grew up watching that '70s show, man. I love that show, and yeah, it's crazy to see somebody that like you. And this isn't the first time. I mean, there was like the Bill Cosby situation, which is it's, but like also like for like the individual, obviously I don't that's I don't know the details of anything. Obviously, if anything has like legit has happened, that shit. My biggest takeaway from that was like, you do hear about, obviously the case is important, but like kind of like what's more important, I guess, is that whole like Scientology. Yo, what's up with Scientology, doggies? That's what I want to get to, kind of. What's up, dudes? What's going on with Scientology, dudes? Is it what's going on, dude? Because like you hear things, you hear that they're like, they own a ton of land, they have a lot of resources. Apparently, what's the owners or the, not L. Ron Hubbard, not the founder, but the guy that's in charge right now, Miscavige. His wife's been apparently missing for some time, and it's a weird cult situation, and they've managed to, again, acquire a ton of land, avoid paying taxes, which is, you essentially built it's again, if you're kind of an innovator, if you're looking out there like, how can you could potentially, if you could run your business as a church or a religion, it could technically get you to, not pay taxes, which is pretty good for whoever owns that sort of business. That'd be swell. That'd be nice. But also, it's good to have taxes so that we don't pay for the highways via tolls. I don't even know, dude. I'm just saying that's happened, and that's out there, ladies and gents. If you have any Scientology stories, if you are in the, and I'm not saying this. That's the thing, because you see a lot of people like doing, seemingly well and succeeding, and I'm all about it, baby. If we need to, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If we need to go clear up in this bitch, we'll fucking go all, we'll do it. We'll do all the levels. We'll, whatever the. I think it takes a lot of money, but guess what? Money makes money. That's one of the things I hear. It's crazy. But that's, I'm surprised. One of the surprising things about this one is, like, again, younger person, you would think that people associated with them, co-workers, friends who were co-workers, I don't know, it's just what you'd think that somebody's like drugging other people and rapping. You'd think that people would, so there's just a lot of mystery is all I'm saying. It's a little bit of the whole situation is a little sus. Is he one of those Hollywood mysteries, I guess? You know what I mean? Is he a full-blown rapist? Or is the Church of Scientology, let's go wild, baby, after a few sips? Or is the Church of Scientology going out there and creating a scapegoat, or just kind of like a signal to other Scientology members that if you opt out of Science, don't you think you can come in and be all Scientologists and then get to share your secrets and kind of find out about ours? And then if you find out about ours and you're like, no more Scientology, man, it's been a good ride, fellas, but all this, the years of probably, I don't know, wild guess, what do you do in weird cults? You get together and probably piss on people, right? Probably underage people, that's probably, or you drug people and you piss on them, or you drug yourself and you piss on yourself. But, combination of drugs, pissing on and off each other, fucking bounce and piss off each other's forehead. I don't know what it is, but like that went down, and like maybe somebody's like, hey man, as a mature adult, I no longer want to be bouncing piss or have piss bounce off me. See you later, fellas. And then they're like, you can't do that. Boom, 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 boom. Rape case. I don't know what I'm talking about. Really, I don't. But I'm just saying it's cray-cray that, you'd have. It's crazy. It's what it is that it's all crazy. And we're just having ball. And this is, after all, nothing but a silly old comedy podcast, okay? Oh, man. Good times, baby. Other interesting news. In and around the world, what is happening? Kim Yo-jong, sister of Kim Jong-un, the hottie with a body. I haven't seen the body, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, fellas, ladies, gents. Kim Yo-jong, the sister of the North Korean current dictator of North Korea. So North Korea is trying to like launch a satellite, a spy satellite. They went and launched the first one. The first launching did not go super bueno. It went up in the air or something. I didn't actually watch it, but it failed essentially. And now they're attempting to launch a second spy satellite. And Kim's sister, Kim, yeah, that's right, Kim's sister, Kim, because they're both, their first names are both Kim. So Kim's sister, Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yo-jong, who, man, their father was ill, am I right? Their father was ill. Come on, son. Okay. All right. Their father was ill. Seriously though, he's ill. That's crazy. IL. But still. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, oh man, you guys are crazy out there. She came out and she's like, yeah, we're gonna launch a spy satellite up into the wherever the satellites go, and we're gonna, and she kind of like, because the first one kind of like, you know, went up in flames, and it was kind of like, oh, look at North Korea's like, you know, what are you guys doing down there? And then she came out and she's, but that's the thing, that the only reason why I'm talking about this is because like, you look at Kim Jong-il, or Il, he was like a serious, like, you know, he was a serious dictator, but he kind of looked like he was having fun. You know what I'm saying? His son, likewise, serious dictator, but look, I'm not gonna lie, Kim Jong-un, I'm sorry, I got a hard keeping track of all of it, they all sound the same. It's the variations are very close, so every time it's crazy. A little bit of a different, like, it's whatever, you guys, it's great, it's fantastic, I love it. Kim Jong-un looks like yes, dictator for sure, but like he looks like he's having fun. Low-key, when you see, he's got a fun, he's jolly, he's a little bit of a larger, he's jolly, he's got that, he's not like, you know, jolly people are like, he's jolly, dude, you know what I'm saying? He's got like rosy cheeks. He's seen at like missile launching sites wearing the old school train conductor hats, which like, it's kind of not gonna, it's kind of a, like, it looks fun. It looks like he's at least having fun. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Now, and I thought about this, and I'm like, we've always, and like, you know, in at least history that I could recall, we've always had, you know, you had dictators, and then you had their, like, the sons of dictators, they either, like, follow in their father's paths, or kind of just fucking run amok. Like, you had Uday and Qusay, Saddam Hussein's sons, who were just running amok, like snatching people up in the street, ladies, raping them, torturing this, that, another, running at, like, just doing all crazy shit, shooting up guns and doing all the, whatever, doing crazy shit. And I'm not saying like Kim Jong-un didn't shoot, I don't know, maybe he shot up some guns, maybe he's had his fair share of the ladies, whether they were probably willing, coercively willing, just like many of people were willing to take a jab. Ha! Crazy. What even is choice? So the point is, ladies and gents, the point is that we've seen like fellas come in and dictate, and then we've seen their sons kind of like either follow or just run amok, like, you know, but we've rarely ever seen a daughter of a dictator. And this is a, man, and I've only seen images. I'm like, yeah, it's not fair to, like, you know, first of all, she's, again, the whole of North Korea is kind of like that, you know, it's that pariah state, it's that, you know, it's that state that's like, you know, everywhere else is like lights on, relatively speaking. This place is like, you know, whatever time it lights out, son. No photos, less photos, no cameras, less cameras, nothing, you know, you don't have too much info. So it's interesting when you see a figure who's a lady who is just like coming up, and this, you see a few images, and this lady has this like face on her that is, again, you look at Kim Jong-un, dictator, but again, the rosy cheeks, the fun little hat, jolly, brings a daughter around. This bitch is walking out looking like a cold fucking killer. And she's just like, yeah, we're gonna be launching. She scares me more than him, to be very honest with you. She scares me way more than, she actually scares me way more than any other like son of a dictator, or actually, because like, I don't know if she's married. I don't know if she don't look like she's having fun. I've seen a few photos, and again, this is probably not on her, because yeah, I get it. Like, you know, who knows what kind of shots people find of you. You're looking not your best, and like this, and look at whatever. You got your, I get it. Maybe it's just a bad shot, but I've seen a few pictures, and this lady does not look like she's having fun. And I thought about this, and I kind of like, what does it feel like to be a dictator's daughter? You know, what does it feel like? Because that's what it is. Like, the boys kind of run amok, they have fun, but do the ladies get to have a fun time? Because she doesn't look like, is she married? Has she had a boyfriend? Does she need a boyfriend? Does she want a boyfriend? Should she want a boy? We should create a show all around her, like Love is Blind or The Bachelorette, and just have dudes showing up, like good-looking, handsome, rich dudes who are just like, you know, it's a beautiful lady who's got a lot to offer, and let's have her relax a bit. When was the last time you went out on a date? When was the last time you just sat down and had like a, because man, and I get it, there's a lot of responsibility, lost, but like, I'm just saying, we're all young, wild, and free or something, dude. It's crazy. Like, if so, the question is, one question is for you out there: should you, you know, the algorithms run a test through all the information that's out, and they find they find 20 suitable matches for this young, I don't even know her age, dude. But like, fucking, you know, she's out there. I think. The face says I'm available, and I've been available for some time. That's I don't even know, dude. She might be bare. Like, I don't know the situation. All I'm saying is, if somebody were to get you know, we run the statistics on the lines and the algorithm. We find out like 20 names that are most compatible with. Would you be willing to go out on a date with her to potentially ease a little bit of tension? You know, give back. First of all, you're gonna be in a beautiful relationship, so don't be thinking this is all about you. Like, you're gonna be gaining a ton as well. Would you be willing to, you know, would you date her? Would you marry her? Would you do her, everybody, a favor? And like, is that a thing? She looks, and again, this is just my perception. I might be completely off. Maybe she's like the happiest lady out there. I don't know. Maybe because I get that sometimes all of us in any given moment could be photographed and seemingly have a resting bitch face for life, but that's not the case. Maybe she's like the most happy-go-lucky. Maybe she's even more happy-go-lucky than Kim Jong-un. Who knows? Maybe she too has a conductor hat. I've never seen one. Her cheeks aren't as rosy, and she's not as jolly. All I'm saying is that spy satellites are, you know, it's just what would, that's the thing, man. We need to and that's the thing. What happens if there is a spy satellite from North Korea? I guess they'll be spying on people. Just like, you know, not to say that it's overall it's not good to have like spy satellites, but like when like a pariah state decides to do something and is like putting their foot down too, and they're like, so all I'm saying is, like, we find her a nice guy, is all I'm saying. And Kim probably has ladies, I'm guessing. He looks like he's having fun, not gonna lie. He looks like he's having a ball. But overall, I just saw her picture, and a little bit of it was just like, man, I wonder what it feels like to be in her position. So, I'm gonna have to, in order to find out, I'm gonna first have to find a dictator out there who's lost all his children, so that I could get in there, become the dictator's son, and sort of kind of like get a vibe for what it is to be like a dictator's child, so that I could be like, okay, I understand more. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, it is Monday. It is June the 5th, 2023. Thank you once again for joining me here today. If you're like, what is, what do we do here? We just have fun. We come often. Thrice we come thrice a week at least. You can bank on that, baby. Come 3 times at least. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. On Instagram. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on YouTube so you get the full-length videos and the notifications. And it helps your boy because the algorithms, you need to tickle the algorithms. And then it also helps you and your family members in so many ways that I can't even begin to describe. But I will. You give me enough time and I will. And that's what it is. And you're like, is there anywhere else where we can contribute back? Because we see a whole bunch of videos that we like to enjoy and we like to see more of, and we like to see you grow right before our eyes like a little mushroom that you are. Yeah, patreon.com/RobSadri. That's where you can go fiscally support the show, watch it grow, watch it elevate, and watch just fucking like, money boners for everybody, dude. Ladies and gents, I love you. Once again, I'll be back here again on Wednesday. In the meantime, have fun. Stay loose, baby. Stay loose. Peace out.